1, 2, 3, go! On with the show. Welcome to another episode of Late Bloomer. Today we're going to talk about colleges. Lots of colleges. Back when I was coming up, 1969 was a great year for anti-war protests and student strikes. My junior high had a walkout because we wanted to have more liberal dress code. But let's go back to the past darkly. Here we go.
Five words you pronounce wrong 2 years before your brain starts shutting down. Dementia is now known as type 3 diabetes, according to the Mayo Clinic, where doctors have...
I know that President Babbage promised that when we would arrive at the skating rink, that the riot act would not be read. It was read. I say we sit in non-violently, and if President Babbage wants to come and talk to us, let him come and talk to us in here.
If you go in there, you're going to provoke violence.
You're going to be putting every student on this campus in the same problem without justice behind you, and there's got to be something. Stand back.
Hi, we're ready to take Alan, hi. Now it's perfectly clear that President Babbage will not let us demonstrate non-violently. And as far as I'm concerned, at this point, President Babbage is completely discredited.
For example,
Later that Tuesday, President Babbage and his aides try to measure the day's events.
If a group of people assemble in this fashion, are they subject to an order to disperse?
generally, if this happened anywhere but a college campus, there just wouldn't be any discussion about it.
See, this it seems to me is the really critically important point to get across to our colleagues, is that we have for centuries in institutions like this enjoyed a degree of immunity from civil procedure because the assumption was made by the public that we would somehow or other govern ourselves, maintain our own form of law and order. And
Yeah. So, if you look at the administration of the students in the 60s, they were all white guys, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants with nice hairdos and Brooks Brothers suits, and they were all registered Republican. Well, what are you going to do? The universities was like little miniature police states. Anything you did, you could get thrown out. And they keep your tuition money. It was all run by corporations. They thought as students and the university as a factory. What was the product on the assembly line? Students. You were all products of the university factory. That's what they thought in the 50s. You were all just products. You weren't human beings. You were little robots that were going to make somebody oil baron rich. So, our generation rebelled. It faded away, but a lot of the students got degrees and they came back as professors. And the schools lighten up. But the conservatives, they're brainwashing our kids. Oh, they're gonna have black university presidents. Oh, and it happened. Now what happens to a university president? This is what happens. They throw him out for bullshit reasons. Yeah. New York Post right-wing comic book. Now, what we have now is crap like this. Oh boy. Let's see this one.
Hi everyone, Mark Barden here at Sandy Hook Promise. On December 14th, 2012, my 7-year-old son Daniel was shot to death in his first grade classroom.
Oh
at Sandy
yeah,
Hook Elementary
right.
School.
Yeah, oh wow.
The shooter
okay.
shot and killed 26 individuals in about 4
right-wing
minutes
propaganda
using
from Israel. Yeah.
Peter Boghossian taught at Portland State University until he saw how DEI turned our education system into social justice factories where grievance and division are the only outputs.
Yeah, he did.
While Peter and I disagree on some issues, we found common ground on the fact that our education institutions need to be abandoned and started anew. Virtues such as truth and courage need to be at the foundation of what we teach. We also discussed his work on street epistemology. Can you change the minds of a brainwashed American youth? Peter is optimistic and has a formula to share.
Change the mind as a brainwashed conservative? Yeah.
Professor, I am really happy that you're here. You know why I'm happy you're here? Because we actually disagree about a lot of stuff.
Right.
And I think that we agree on one very fundamental, important thing, and that is having conversations, civil discourse, and pursuing truth.
Correct.
And we may not come with the same conclusions, but I think that us sitting down and conversing about ideas is really important. So thank you for coming. Welcome to PragerU.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to add to that list because I think those are really important lists. I also think we agree, correct me if I'm wrong, so truth, freedom of speech, these things are core principles. But we also agree on the idea of cognitive liberty. I don't want to impose my lack of belief or belief on you. I don't want you to you don't want the state to impose it. So we want to be able to freely choose in the system in which we live the beliefs that we hold without being told or forced
He
or
must have smoked a lot of pot in the 60s.
cajoled into a belief.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we chatted about just fully transparently as we just got to know each other a few minutes ago is that some people from your background are simply afraid to be associated with PragerU or even with me because they're afraid to be labeled whatever lies and labels I've been labeled with. Right? Like I mentioned a few things to you that people label me as, you know, a white Christian nationalist or all kinds of things. And so when they do that and you hear those things, they intimidated you from coming onto this program as well and being associated with us. And I think this is really how these ideologues, the intolerant ideologues, are really creating division and conquering really the conversations because they're instilling fear in those of us who are willing to sit down and have conversations. And what an opportunity it is for us to talk about things that we may disagree with, but we might.
Oh, she's so diplomatic. See, Preger taught her how to be diplomatic to a communist. So it makes her look like somebody that's responsible and mature and fair. And objective? No.
Come up with agreement on things that make sense.
Correct. And they attempt to intimidate you. They attempted to intimidate me. And the basic idea is that it's guilt by association.
Who does that? Your imaginary adversaries in the canyons of your behind? What?
It's some kind of contamination. So I've talked to you, you've talked to me, you've been perceived to be on the right.
Oh, everything's just so fair and equal.
right? And the next thing you know, you can discredit somebody. So that's an excuse to also not do the intellectual work that you need to do to figure out a position. Oh, he's on the right, or as opposed to looking at the evidence and doing.
What the fuck do you think we've been doing for the last 200 years, you stupid gray hair boomer? And what's with the black? You think you're Johnny Cash?
Doing the work and then coming up with a decision.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah,
So for those of us who want to get to know you.
Why do a lot of Jewish people have nasal congestion? I have that in my family. I'm a Jew. I mean, listen to Ben Shapiro and listen to her. It's like, blow your nose or go to a ear, nose, and throat doctor, please.
You a little bit better. Tell us about your background. I came across your name, Vacuum, and you're a teenager or just a person who's looking for meaning and belonging. Then you join this camp that provides you some sense of justice and meaning and, let's all fight together and intersectionality and community. And, frankly, I'm not a Christian, but I sit there and I watch my...
Oh, God, these people. And that's what they're doing to the universities, the right wing. You think that they sit around all day, tie you to a chair, and everybody's nude. It's each class in a woke university is clothing optional. And you sit around smoking weed and watching happy people having sex on the professor's desk. Well, all this is exaggeration. It's not happening. There's an old joke, and this professor is in front of his university, and it goes like this. We must unite the proletariat. We must take the banks first. All the armies and all the guards, the people's guards, must unite soon. Professor Hakanashi? Yeah, yes! When are we going to learn about doing surgery? I know it's not a funny joke, but the meaning is you go to college for a certain purpose. The other stuff is what they call your major. You got your major classes. If you're studying law, you go to law classes. If you're studying medicine, you go to medicine classes. If you want something extra, well, those are, God, I forgot what the electives. Electives, something you choose. And if some guy is naked smoking weed telling you to overthrow the government, you chose that class. Now, back in the 50s, there was all these guys in suit and ties, white, and telling you how wonderful America was. And they got the education what the right wants to propagandize. They more want you a religious education, be superstitious and stupid. The worst enemy of the right is not communism, it's education and knowledge. So, that's my little take on sending your kids to college. Go register your kids. You don't want them to end like Marjorie Taylor Greene or all the other idiots on the right. You don't want to end up to be like that. They even have stuff where you can study to be a soldier and kill people. Well, that's it for today. I'm tired. I didn't sleep well last night. All right. See you later. Excuse me. Okay. Can I introduce you, my kitty? Come here. Come on, girls. I love the kitties. Oh, and another thing. Bye. Come back soon.